Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 218. The show is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, your hosts are back together and ready to talk about Shadowkeep. We bring tales from our Dirt Fam travels, chat Crucible and campaign adventures, and wrap up with new plans for the season ahead. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT and, of course, CyborgSasquatch. What's up, man?
Hello.
Hello. Great to talk to you again.
How are you?
I'm great.
I always want to dub in, that movie with Robin Williams and pretends to be a nanny.
Yes.
And he goes,
hello. Hello.
That's
and
how
welcome.
That's how I answer you in my head.
Nice.
But I didn't think anybody would get the reference.
It's probably a bunch of people about our age. Maybe. We should be okay.
Mrs. Doubtfire is the reference.
Yes, Mrs. Doubtfire. There's a nice Aerosmith song on that soundtrack.
Of course there is.
Yep, of course. And that song wasn't written for that movie, which is even more interesting.
Nice.
That it worked out that way, you know?
Perfect.
So, yeah. Anyways, we're both coming off some travel this weekend. Yours farther than mine, but you know.
We've been traversing the solar system.
Yes. Guardians, it's a day later than you normally hear us, but hopefully that's okay. You don't mind.
Very sorry for being late 2 weeks in a row, but
yes,
it's been a crazy 2 weeks with Shadowkeep launch.
Mm-hmm.
I had a wedding to go to. There was the Dirt Fam Midwest meetup.
Yep.
Last time I talked to you last week, your kids were
sick pretty quick, and the whole shebang, like the night of planned recording. So yeah, shout out to Blue and to Infinity. Really appreciate those Guardians jumping on. I don't like missing them, but at some point they'll be back on. But the kiddos are doing better, so all is good, man.
That's good.
Yep. So
but yeah, so we got a lot to catch up on this week. We haven't talked much about Shadowkeep together yet, so we get to talk about that, right?
Right. Yes, I can't wait to talk to you about it. I think I texted you a couple times the last couple weeks. I'm like, man, I just want to talk to you about Shadowkeep, dude.
I know, and like life has prevented that, but not today.
No, it's happening tonight.
So let's get into it. I know you've got like at least a little announcement, Prop 2 announcement here, right?
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, like you said, we had the Dirt Fam meetup this past weekend. Shout out to those Dirt Fam Guardians. We had a couple new members show up that we hadn't met yet, and some of the usual. Yeah,
so what all did y'all get into up there, man?
Yeah, man, it was it was the usual thing, except I usually go with the Dirt Fam member, lives around me, known him for a long time, Dixie Flatline. We usually drive up together, and we decided this year we were going to go a day earlier, so we would have 2 nights at the Dirt Fam Midwest meetup. Nice. And we just did the thing. We got there. It was kind of late the first night, but that was okay. We stayed up till like 3 or 4. Just did we do the LAN party thing, man. Like we hook up. I don't know. There's usually roughly between 8 to 15 people there. And we just hook up a bunch of consoles, and then we usually have a Nintendo hooked up. We go eat some food, order some food. This year we actually tried to go out to eat for dinner so we could talk instead of trying to talk in between games.
Yeah.
But no, it was excellent time, man. I'll get into all we played in Reset because I spent some time in the Crucible with some Dirt Fam members. But anyways, no, it was a great time. Planning on doing it again next year, and just always reminds me for us to remind our listeners and community, the Dirt Fam, just to let us know when you're having meetups and stuff. We love to share it, and we love to see the community get together and send us pics and all that good stuff. So yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, that's great, man. One of these days I'll make it out there.
Yeah, Ori and I were talking this time, and we decided next year we're going to try and not do the thing we do every year when we try to lock down a weekend we think everybody can go, and then we remember that your birthday's around that time sometime. We're going to try and involve you beforehand.
Perfect.
And maybe make it a little bit bigger next year too, if we can get you there, and us too, and maybe have even more Dirt Fam come out and hang out for a couple days. But yeah, dude,
Nice.
yeah, that was about 4.5 hour drive, so nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
I know you traveled to New York, right? You went to
I did.
to Blue's big
so
event.
Our buddy Blue got married, and was fortunate enough to go up there and
It's awesome.
be part of that festivity. It was
Congrats,
pretty fun.
Blue.
Yep.
Very cool.
Got to spend my birthday in Rochester, New York, hanging out with some buds, which was great. I enjoyed it. I mean, at my age, you know, you don't do anything for your birthday really anymore. So I was like, this is a cool thing to do on my birthday.
Very cool. It's
So
exciting.
yeah, I had a lot of fun and saw some other Guardians that we're all friends with, and saw a new part of the country I hadn't been to, and got to be there for my bud. So it was fun.
Yeah, that's
It was
awesome.
a lot of fun. Yeah.
Congrats again. Better off, Blue.
That's right. Those were our travels. We are well-traveled Guardians this week.
Yes, we are. Shout out again. I got to give a shout out to Ori for hosting the Dirt Fan Midwest meetup. It's always
Yeah, man.
amazing that he does that. But yeah,
Old school Dirt Fan member.
yep, old school. So there you have it. Oh,
He's
one
so
more thing
old.
too. Kind of an announcement, but I did not forget. I saved my last moon pie because we said we were going to have one pre-launch and post-launch, and I wasn't on last week. So if
Oh,
you hear me
man.
eating some food, I'm eating a moon pie. I said I'd have
Get
one on
after it,
this
man.
next episode. So
I've got some still left, like a couple in a box here.
I bought a box for work and home. So
Wow,
I think I
that's
have
commitment.
one left at each location.
Yeah.
So
Marshmallows
anyways,
are good. I like
good stuff.
marshmallows. All right. So we don't have any other major announcements this week for you guys.
no,
In the news, we've got
I
a
took
little
a
bit of
bite,
news.
sorry.
Go ahead, man. I'm going to read you the twab. You
Please do.
enjoy that delicious moon pie. Thanks again, by the way, all the Guardians last week that enjoyed a moon pie with us. That was a lot of fun.
yes, it was a lot of fun. Very
Do
cool.
something
Congrats to the
people.
emblem winner too. Very cool.
Yeah, that was great. So this week at Bungie, the hunt is on. Heroic Nightmare Hunts went live this week. We had some new Nightmare Hunts as well that we got to do. They said keep a lookout as new nightmares emerge for the Legend and Master Hunts. They also mention the Vex didn't take too kindly to us venturing into the Black Garden. They've begun their own invasion and can be found mobilizing on the moon. Fight off the Vex in our new 6-player activity, the Vex Offensive, for all season pass owners. So Nightmare Hunts. Heroic
Yes.
Nightmare Hunts.
Can I ask a question about those? Maybe you're about to
Sure.
say it.
I might have the same question.
Why?
ahead, though.
Why do we need to do them?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. I was asking some people the same thing today because I knew that we'd have to talk about this. Because when you go to complete your milestone, right,
Mm-hmm.
that you can get your powerful reward for,
You just have to do 3.
They give you the same amount of progress as a normal. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. And I'm trying to figure out, is there any better rewards? The only thing I can figure out maybe is it seems like there might be a better chance for the mods to drop.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
they're
I mean,
mods for that activity. And so we're doing the harder thing so we can get mods to do the harder thing, and that's it. Like,
yeah, I know.
you know what I'm saying?
We talked about it a couple of times this weekend, and we were like, well, maybe let's do those. Let's do the harder ones, you know. And then we look at it, and we're like the Nightfall. It doesn't list anything extra other than more modifiers, and we're like, yeah, no, we'll just do the normal ones.
Like when I logged on to do them, I was looking and I was like, wait, it's not going to tell me why I need to do this, because I was expecting it to be like the Nightfall, where it kind of listed out what the incentive was for the harder activities. So I don't get it. Maybe, see, there's also this mechanic in those activities where there's like a scoring aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was like, when I first started doing them, you know, it had the timer and the score, and I'd finish it and it'd be like, you got epic score or something like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. What's that for? So I feel like either there's something to these that got cut, right?
Right.
Or there's something that that's going to develop.
Like I mean, it almost has to be something, right? When have they ever, maybe I'm forgetting something. When have we ever had harder modes for something and nothing?
You know, like
the mods would make sense, but we don't know that for sure.
Yeah, for many activities like I always think back to Prison of Elders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you had different difficulties for those, and they've kind of went to a system that's like the OG Prison of Elders, where, you know, you went up in power level to do harder ones, but those would give you better and better rewards.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't have that. So I'm wondering if perhaps the Master and the Legend hunts might have something unique or a better reward system. They definitely seem built. They remind me a lot with the scoring system of, you remember when they brought back Prison of Elders the first time, and it was like a whole score system?
Yeah.
Remember how fun that was?
Yeah.
Like there would be different mods that required you to play a certain way. And there, like, if there was like a certain one with arc, it was mega fun, right?
Yeah.
Because you would just be like chaining arc super kills, and it gave you some kind of overcharge. Like, it kind of reminds me like it's almost like it's set up to be that way, because nightmare hunts are basically mini strikes. Pretty much. I love it because it just distills the challenging part of the strike into an activity, which is the boss. And then it adds your champions with which I like that aspect of it. Like the unstoppable champions, the overload champions, all that I think is a really cool addition to this expansion that makes it fun.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I'm just not sure yet. And maybe I'm totally missing something and everybody's yet, or some other creator might have. I almost feel like
I am as well.
Dado's probably got a video that explains it all and I've totally missed it, but
I'm in the same boat.
I'm definitely lost. I like them. I see the potential for them, but I'm just missing something here. So, yo no sé, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, we've been groomed to run harder activities for more rewards, so it's hard to run but are more difficult.
Well, and there's so much to do. I don't see any point in beyond running the 3 that I need to get the reward and move on, because there's Vex offensive stuff, there's all the different regular like Vanguard, Crucible, this and that. There's all these weapons that we can farm. I don't know, man.
There's a lot.
I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out, I suppose. There's these other difficulties, and I mean, I'll play the harder difficulties just to do them, like to get them under my belt, and I'm hoping that we see some interesting bosses, because there's like we'll get to that.
Yes,
we'll get to that. There's definitely bosses we haven't seen yet that were teased. Moving on in the news. Let's talk about Heavy and the Crucible. I know you've played a bunch of Crucible since Shadowkeep launched. Why don't you take this one?
Yeah, I mean, the just a couple of takes on Heavy. But the first thing we jumped in with the launch of Shadowkeep was 3v3, of course, elimination, and we were definitely thrown off by Heavy being ready to go right off the bat. But again, it's Crucible Labs, so that's okay. But they do some server side stuff here, and everybody was pretty impressed with the quick reaction they had and the quick adjustment. They basically say in the TWAB this week, they say earlier this week we issued a server-side change to reduce the amount of heavy ammo spawning in the Crucible. The change affected control, clash, and supremacy. We also have a heavy ammo changes planned for 3v3 survival in a future update. And basically, and they even address it as due to recent feedback asking for a reduction in the amount of heavy ammo available in the Crucible. This is why they did the server-side change. And basically, control will now have heavy ammo spawn at 45 seconds and then every 120. It was spawning at 45 and then every 60 seconds. And then clash and supremacy. Yeah, no, it's a lot, dude. It really is a lot. Even for sixes. Clash and supremacy will now have heavy ammo spawn in at 60 seconds and every 120. And then it was spawning in at 15 seconds and then every 60 seconds.
That was definitely getting a little wet and wild pretty early in there.
Yeah, I mean that's quick heavy ammo and then a lot of heavy ammo following. And then like they mentioned, they do say they don't have a server-side setting to change on 3v3 survival mode, but do plan to make changes in an update later this month. So everybody was just impressed because the feedback hadn't really been going around too long, and then they saw it, listened to it, and I'm sure on their end kind of, did some internal discussions and then did a server-side change. So, I mean, I saw some tweets of just, impressed and happy that they were able to respond that quickly and just that they did so, really. And then I am looking forward to some, it's Crucible Labs, so at some point 3v3 is going to get some mix-ups here and there. So I'm hoping we see like some iteration of heavy, like we used to see in Trials, where it's not every round. But that's a whole different beast. That's not the active Crucible, if you will. So it was just cool to see this.
Here this week they did roll out some tweaks to the elimination mode.
It's that's right. Yeah. It says the first settings we deployed saw heavy ammo spawning in at 90 seconds in every round. Revive tokens were also enabled, and there was a bug causing heavy ammo to spawn in instantly, but we were able to get that fixed on a server change. Yes. Sorry about that.
And then also with revive tokens.
Yes. So that was the big one, man. It just threw us off with 3v3 elim, seeing heavy ammo in the first round. It was nice to see that was a bug. But we just assumed it was Crucible Labs. I kind of just slipped my mind about that now, and this them addressing it as a bug. So, anyways, I can't veer off too much. You're gonna have to keep the TWAB going because in reset, I'm gonna talk all about 3v3 elim and the Crucible.
And they mentioned the first week in elim as well. You had revive tokens, which is a more Destiny 2-ish style mode, and then this week it was a timer system, which is pretty similar to what we saw in D1 Trials and Elimination, where each time you got up, there was a little more time on the clock. Timer. Yeah, which seems very much like the original. So definitely, they're playing around a little bit with that. They said 2 more additional configurations we'll see coming up in the weeks to come with 3v3 elimination. I still, unfortunately, haven't jumped in this because I haven't really been Crucible focused at all. I can't even. We'll wait till reset. Okay, yeah.
It's magical.
But speaking of the Crucible, Iron Banner is coming up. Lord Saladin is about to make his first appearance in Season of the Undying. The great fires of the Iron Banner will burn again as Guardians face off against each other for bragging rights and new rewards. We've got Iron Banner and a Valor bonus starting 10 a.m. Pacific on October 15th, running through October 22nd with maybe the most delicious Iron Banner set yet in Destiny 2, man. It really makes me want to play some Iron. See, it's as simple as making armor that I wanted, and I might jump in Iron Banner.
Making the armor and then the
Warlock
rewards.
Man, that Warlock set is
I know,
so
dude.
cool.
I wish the Titan, it all looks great, but I wish the Titan had and maybe it's just because
the Titan we're showing is a female.
Yeah.
And you notice, like, in their, they're obviously like a little slimmer profile. I want to see what it looks like on the the male Titan.
Yeah, I'm hoping for some more gold trim like the other two have, and I'm hoping maybe on the chest that we can't see there, on the chest plate.
There's a little bit on the chest, on the top, but the Warlock's is a little more shiny.
Yeah, it looks good. You're right. And then like they said, the pinnacle rewards from Iron Banner is going to be a big deal. So give us armor we want, and give us the power we're hunting, and people will be in there, I'm sure.
Right, yeah. So they mentioned there's going to be a few things that change about how Iron Banner works this season. We're going to see a new seasonal pursuit that you have to complete prior to being able to turn in tokens or purchase packages from Lord Saladin. It says it is character-based and rewards the new Season 8 armor set. So it sounds like doing the pursuit gives you the whole set. Each step of the pursuit awards Iron Banner weapons or armor. And then most of the objectives within the pursuit track progress at any point during Season of the Undying, even if you have not yet acquired the pursuit. So it sounds like similar to the quest system that we saw last season. But it sounds like it may be a little more rewarding, but who knows what the pursuit will be.
Right, yeah.
But I'm going to guess, just judging how things have been this season, that it may be a little simpler.
I think
you know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
I don't want to like put this the wrong way and say watered down, but like everything seems a little more straightforward with stuff.
Yeah. I think you might be onto something there. Yeah, for sure.
And then once that's completed, all rewards will be obtained from completing matches and bounties. All rewards are weapons until the season pursuit is complete. And then the existing 7 bounties that offered powerful rewards have been adjusted to offer pinnacle rewards.
Oh, yeah.
960 power max, but only 4 are available per event. So you'll have 4 chances at pinnacle rewards. I'm assuming per week that Iron Banner is up, not like for the whole season. I'm thinking that's how I'm reading this. They do mention they're tracking a bug in which the 4 bounties rotate each day, allowing more than 4 to be completed during a single event. So
there's that.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, this is just instantly creating some buzz around Iron Banner, and again, I'll talk about it more in Reset. But I'm already been pretty Crucible focused in this season, so I kind of can't wait to jump in and increase my light while working on some things.
The fact that we have this pinnacle reward system now, where once I hit max power, right, like hard soft cap, if you will,
right.
Them offering 4 pinnacle rewards when it shows up, it's very D1 of them. You know what I mean? And that's something I brought up many times about what made Iron Banner special, is the fact that it was one of the few places you could progress outside of the normal progression system. And it felt like more of an event. And this could do that. This could bring it back around. Yeah,
and I'm just starting to get a grasp on the I'm still of course power leveling, but get a grasp on what's a bad roll on a stat total on a piece of gear and what's a good roll. And of course, we've learned that it seems as though obviously if you go into raids and nightfalls, you get a better chance, it seems, maybe of higher stat rolls on the Armor 2.0 stuff. So that's another layer to this, right? Yes. These pinnacle rewards we could see some higher stat rolls, which is a good thing. So yeah, there's a lot of value here, man. And I forgot they had these rotating Guardians in here. So yes, it looks as though there might be enough gold trim on the Titan. It was just looking so good on the Warlock.
I know. And they also mention, because Iron Banner it has its own version of control, the heavy ammo spawning changes won't be active yet in Iron Banner. So something to keep in mind there's going to be a lot of heavy.
Right.
So good luck.
It's going to feel like mayhem to me. That's okay.
It might. It might. Just a little mayhemish, a little crazy.
That's all right.
We'll make it. Next up, they talk a little bit about Garden of Salvation and the race to World's First. Did you catch any of that? Did you watch any of the
No,
race?
I did not. We were out and about that day, and unintentionally, I was the most blind for the longest ever on a new raid. But I have since kind of watched some things and heard some things and different things. So I'm not completely blind to it all anymore. But I know we were talking before the show because we were trying to catch up. You're not fully through it yet either.
No,
correct?
I haven't even finished the thing yet. Due to what was going on all last week. Like we put a bunch of time into it the day it went live, that Saturday. And then I was not able to rejoin my team because I had just a lot of things going on at home and a lot of things to do before I could go out of town that Thursday. So I had to just tell them to fill somebody in for me, and they've been working on it without me. But yeah, Clan Ascend emerged victorious as World's First, just coming out 2 minutes ahead of their closest competitor. It was a close race.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A lot of teams went far into the night and into the next day trying to finish. It was just it was a different kind of, in my opinion, it was a different kind of difficult than, say, Last Wish.
Right.
There's just it seems so much like a Destiny 1 raid. It's hard to like put my finger on why that is. But it just does.
Yeah.
But
are you guys playing blind, or did you watch?
We were.
Stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what my team's been up to this week. If they
you're still blind to it though.
Stay blind. I haven't seen any more. No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm probably going to end up, because I know they've gotten past parts that I was left at, so I'm probably going to end up jumping back in and having them show me the ropes on some stuff.
Yeah, that Saturday, just kind of threw me off because it was amazing for people that were going to run it then. But for somebody that usually just watches it, it usually works out when I'm at work because I'll just throw it on in the background or something if I'm in my office. But on Saturdays, it's like a fun family time, man. So, I wasn't like sitting around watching the raid.
Right.
Yeah. So I totally was I hadn't seen anything for several days, just other than like a few things in my feed here and there. So
yeah,
it's always exciting.
Yeah. And I think it was cool that it was, it was on a weekend. And
yeah, it was very cool. Yeah,
it definitely made it easier for me and my team to get in there that day on challenge mode while that was active, and that was pretty cool. So over in the TWAB, they had some members of Clan Ascend come and talk about their experience. They said their clan was built with the intention of going hardcore on Destiny 2's raid. They actually were founded in Forsaken a month before Scourge of the Past was going to go live. So pretty young clan, but seems like a bunch of hardcore dudes going after their goals. And they've, they mentioned they've put in a 4th spot on Scourge of the Past, a 9th spot on Crown of Sorrow. So they were definitely in the mix.
Very cool.
Going after those World's First runs. So congrats to those guys. It's no small feat to pull off what they did. And I haven't watched any of the videos myself, but I hear that there's some fearless dudes for sure. So congrats to them.
Test of endurance and test of friendship, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So moving on into the Destiny player support section, we got a little hot fix 2.6.0.3 this week. Fix an issue where if you were in an equipment locked activity like a Nightfall, you would not receive your artifact when you claimed it. So they've since solved that issue. They then go on to talk about some known issues, which are always typically present. There's always something.
Right.
We're in the works. If you're having any troubles, always go check the known issues, see if it's something they're already aware of. If not, go to Bungie.net and report it. That's how they find the bugs. And then the movie of the week, as we predicted last week, Saw Something Weird on the Moon 2 by Husky Raid emerged victorious with the movie of the week. Congrats to those gentlemen for their magnus opus. Is that the right phrase? Something like you know what I'm saying. And then some honorable mentions, a couple honorable mentions you should check out. And and then we're back to the moon. Also in the news this week, in case you were tracking this over on Raid Secrets or anywhere else like that, there were some how do you pronounce cryptograph? No, what were they called?
Right. No,
not cryptographs. Something. There were
that
puzzles.
Right?
There were puzzles, guys.
Puzzles.
As part of the special edition, like the collector's edition of Shadowkeep, you could find a little puzzle to decipher, if you will. There were 5 different URLs: Bungie.net/hearts, endure, dust, hope, poison. Going to each one would leave a puzzle for you to solve. And as they were finally solved, they have unlocked some lore entries located on those pages on Bungie.net that you can read, that kind of put together a little story or narrative, if you will, from the point of the hive. That's very interesting and raises some interesting questions.
Mm-hmm.
So speculation abounds that we could see some interesting nightmares here coming up. We'll see.
It's cool, man. I mean, even the fact that is a thing already a couple weeks into the season versus like right at launch, like pre-lore or something. And then on top of that to like, who knows, speculation, but hint at future bosses with future content. I just love the structure of things now, man. It's not like grind through it as fast as you can and or as slow as you want. And then, you're kind of done when you're done. Now it's, it's kind of fed to us over the season. So I just really enjoy that model. So cool.
Yeah. And I definitely get the feeling there are some things in store for us this season.
Yeah,
right?
I think so too. It feels as though, right? It just seems like they have set some stuff up over this next year and hinted at it many times.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. So go check these out if you're into the lore. They tweeted about it, Destiny 2, or at Destiny the game, put a little tweet up about, see if you want to go grab those links quickly and easily. You can go look there. But that is pretty much the news this week. Nothing else crazy going on. There was a fake post that you may have ran across on Twitter that looked like it was from Bungie Help, but it was actually 8 Ungie Help. And it said, One-Eyed Mask has been temporarily disabled in the Crucible. Details to follow, but it was just a joke. It was not Bungie. It was not. So if you saw that and you rejoiced, I hate to squash your dreams. Yeah.
Yep.
Just a
Trolley.
tease. Yep. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man,
Wow.
That's the news this week.
Cyborg.
Yes.
Can't wait to talk to you about reset. How was your reset, buddy?
My reset was short, and I had to pack in what I could. I had like one night this past reset to play before I went out of town. So I jumped on and I did all the moon stuff.
Yeah.
I went and did there's a weekly activity in which we're collecting artifacts of Eris's fire team. And then you go and you bring it to her and you kind of dispel that nightmare. It's kind of a cool like storytelling device.
Yeah,
so I did that.
It's really cool.
Yeah. And
what happens if we miss one week? I wondered about that.
I'm assuming they're just going to like cycle through.
Rotate? Yeah. Just
and rotate.
Because there's only 5, I would assume, correct?
That's what I would think. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes
That's
sense.
what I would think.
Okay.
Guess we'll
Anyway,
find
sorry.
out.
You gonna say what else you were doing?
Oh yeah, so I did that. What else did I do? Nightmare Hunt stuff where I was trying to decipher why I should do Void or Heroic Nightmare Hunts. That was a whole thing. Did like the Vex offensive stuff on Blue's couch when I had like an hour to burn. And, you know, I was disappointed to find that there was not a single thing different about Vex offensive this week.
Yeah.
I had high hopes that there would be like a different mechanic or a different boss, but that did not happen at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for that activity, as cool as it is.
Yeah, I mean, if there's not different, I enjoy it. I enjoy any horde mode. I've said it many, many times. But at this point, you know, we've had so many different iterations of it. If there's not some tiers to the experience, differences in the experience, I guess, or something, you know.
I mean, we know we're going to get something to do with it, like in November, but it's kind of far away.
Right. Yeah.
The one thing that is cool and interesting is it appears that Ikora is building a time gate in the tower, which is
cool.
Shockingly dangerous.
And very cool, though.
There's also like technicians welding stuff without any safety gear or eye protection, no PPE. On what looks to be thousands of feet above the ground, which is just terrifying.
Yeah, but can we just talk about? I mean, that is cool though, dude. That is really cool.
It is cool that they're making like a slow, subtle addition to the tower. That's kind of cool.
I mean, and they hinted at that out in the world, and maybe the tower. They didn't really say, I guess, specifically, but
yeah. Well, she said she was building something,
right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, Bungie like hinting at things in the world. You know, we kind of more so thought patrol, like like the Vex invasions and stuff. But it's just cool to see like something like that in the tower. You know, that we just get to kind of watch play out. Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. So be sure you're getting Ikora her Vex pieces so she can build a dangerous time gate and suck the tower into the wrong timeline, and we can fix it next season, right? Because that's the thing. Fix the timeline. Like, good God, Ikora, what are you gonna do? Scary. So that was cool. Stuff. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, and that's like kind of all I've gotten into this week. I hadn't really had any other time to fool around with stuff.
We had some stuff going on, you know.
Tell me what you got into this reset.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, it's been we haven't had an episode together since the launch.
Right.
So 2 weeks, 2 resets for me. And first of all, I mean, we don't have to go crazy off into it because it's been 2 weeks, but really enjoying Shadowkeep. You know, I haven't fully finished the episode from last week yet, but enjoyed the campaign. Was pleasantly surprised by seeing the triangle ships. I didn't think I didn't necessarily think we were going to see those that quick and right away. The campaign was quick, but then when you I mean, there's obviously a massive plan there, but when you start doing those Eris things that you talked about, like her fire team and such, that adds a lot of layers to it. So it's really cool. Right. I like those. But anyways, you know, we don't have to get off crazy into that as far as. Well,
how did you like the campaign overall, though? I mean, just from like storytelling and gameplay, like
I enjoyed it.
Take on it.
I mean, I totally get. You know, I've seen many, you know, like it just ends abruptly. But I don't know, it doesn't really bother me. I didn't expect, you know, we knew it was going to be Rise of Ironish. And I maybe even remember you guys mentioning that on the show last week. So I kind of already just had my expectations for what the length was going to be. And then when I saw the pyramid ships, that was like a big thing for me. So
it's a big deal.
So yeah, I took off the day after and just ran through the campaign. Just kind of took my time. I try not to rush it. I just like to solo it and enjoy that stuff. And then when we did fire team up, and it was our OG, one of our OG trials members. It was the three of us that used to run trials all the time, and we did the last mission together. One of us had already completed it, and I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how I explained it this weekend. I didn't realize I was ready for that nostalgia trip, right? But I was totally ready. That last mission was awesome. And I'm sure some of it that played into it was that I was with kind of my old school fire team. But fighting those bosses again and then going into Crota and I was remembering times pre-Dirt Fam when I would LFG and run the sword for, a bunch of Guardians that I didn't know just to get the completion right. And then not too long after that, we started the Dirt Fam and, we were running it every week and my cousin and I were two-manning it at a certain point. So I don't know. That really hit home with me. And I just didn't realize I was ready for that to be as awesome as it was. And then immediately following that, and we can talk about this in a minute, we went right into 3v3 elimination, and that just set us off. I mean, it was like trials all over again, except without the lighthouse. But before we get into that, I mean, back to the story, I enjoyed it, man. Like, I guess I kind of just set myself up for what I thought it was going to be, the length, and then I was pleasantly surprised with the subtle, huge pieces that we got in it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's I was good with it. So I enjoyed it, but
I thought that last mission was really cool. It was definitely unique. The environment that you're in was something totally new, and I don't know. It keeps like sticking out to me. Like I want to go back and play it again.
Yeah, definitely. Something was right about it. Something worked, at least for me. Yeah. And, I enjoyed it. It wasn't much, it didn't take long to get through it. Like I said, I do like these follow-up things we're getting with Eris. We don't get it all in a few story campaigns, the way they set it up these days. There's always stuff following. But yeah, man, no, I enjoyed that. I've done so much, dude. I mean, it's just been the light grind. I think I hit within a day. I said light, still say light, power level grind. Within a day, that day, I think, before I went to get the kiddos, I hit 904. So I was feeling good, man. The day after launch, I didn't fully work the token system because I did hear about that. What I would do is I'd go out and just do some things and get some pretty, big jumps, because you get some big jumps, and then when I had some gear that was a little off from a few of my other things, I'd go drop some tokens and kind of try to level it out a little bit.
It gave you a good way to level stuff out,
right? Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure you're very similar. I have anywhere between 2,000 to 5,000 depending on which vendor it is, and I didn't want to like fully diminish the playing in progress. But when I did have a few pieces that were just way off, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the tower and just drop some tokens. I have, I'm setting on them. Let me use them for something. So yeah, I hit 904, and then it was actually kind of fun. I mean, we ran the Nightfall, we did all the Lost Sectors, we did the whole shebang. We did all the stuff, and then I didn't play for I think I played a total of 2 to 4 hours for the next week. It's just been so busy. I mean, we were talking about it and then prepping for, the trip for the weekend. And I think when I got to the Dirt Fan meetup a week and a half later, I was 906. So I hit 904 the day after, and then I increased my power 2 in that week and a half. But then we got there, man, and we just, before I get into that, before I get into what we played at the Dirt Fan meetup, 3v3 elimination. And I'm sure part of it was we jumped in, like I said, with our OG fire team, and -1, we had 1 or 2 that we'd alternate in or out when we'd run trials back in the day every weekend. But we jumped into elimination, dude, right after playing that last mission. And it was just like nostalgia trip times 1,000. We rolled out of that mission and then went into there. And the first map that loads up, of course, is Twilight Gap. and then the one following was Widow's Court, and then I think maybe Widow's Court again, and then we played the new map. So we were playing these maps that we played so many times on Trials, and I'm running the Last Word and Beloved, which feels like Last Word and 1,000-yard stare, right? And it just, and what was amazing is it's like we never stopped playing Trials together. I knew what Terry was going to do. I knew what Davis was going to do. I knew what my role was. And it's like we've been playing every Friday ever since ever. It's like we never stopped. And it was just magical, dude. It basically, any feedback, and my agreement even with it many times of, Bungie likes to innovate, we don't really want them just to bring back Trials. And I'm like, I could see that, I agree with that. They need to innovate a little bit with it and bring it back. After playing 3v3 in Crucible Labs, I'm like, yeah, no. There is something magical about that mode, and I'm going to be in Crucible Labs a ton this season because it is just fun. It's fun to me, obviously maybe not to every Guardian, but there's something magical about 3v3 elimination, and then when you throw the Lighthouse as the ultimate reward, something just works, man. It just, like, don't reinvent the wheel, really just, it works. And we were talking about it over the weekend, like they've had so many good iterations in Trials. They've had the bounty system, which got other Guardians to come in, maybe that wouldn't normally play such a PvP, sweaty focused activity. And then, the adept weapons we were talking about. Those were the coolest things ever, because as a Guardian that maybe doesn't spend a lot of time in the Crucible, you could get the weapons and you had the gold with the black trim. But then people like me who spent tons of time in Trials and played every weekend trying to get to the Lighthouse, we could get the adept ones with one extra perk, and we had the black with the gold trim, right? And we were talking all weekend. You're like maybe even if they didn't do that seemed to work pretty well. They could have some sort of pinnacle. Sorry, not pinnacle anymore. They could have a ritual weapon. And if you play Trials, you progress a lot faster. If you play Iron Banner, you progress kind of, medium fast. And then if you play Quick Play, you progress a little bit. You don't have to be in Trials. So there's just so many different things that they've done over the years that they could implement back into a version of Trials that is still close to what it used to be, right? Just with layered rewards that they've learned and that they've done over the years. Anyways, I won't get all into that. We can talk about that later on. We had a blast in 3v3. Like, we used to play Trials for fun. We didn't care if we went to the Lighthouse. If we went to the Lighthouse, we kept playing for no rewards. And to have 3v3 in Crucible Labs, it's a blast, man. And you get Valor for it. I didn't think you got Valor for lab stuff.
I'm not sure. I've done so little of it. I never paid attention to that.
Yeah. So, I'm feeding back into this past weekend. I hadn't played any Glory. I'd seen all kinds of people talking about Survival, 3v3, and then Freelance. And I hadn't dove in at all. And then this weekend, the Saturday, we got there Friday, and then Saturday, it's like, all right, let's play some Crucible. And I got to say, man, 3v3 and competitive, if you will, it's great. Again, something about 3 versus 3 just works. I don't know what it is. I don't know why 4 is fine, but when you play 3v3, you realize there's something there with the chemistry of the flow of the game that you can pull off a 1v3. There's a lot of Guardians that can pull off a 1v3. There's even more that can pull off a 1v2. And when you take one of 3 of them out, something just works way better with 3v3. I can't put my finger on it exactly, except for just these little details. But when there's four of them, it just, I don't know, it's harder. The flow's different. Even if the map was built around it, something about 3 versus 3 just works. And you can see it in the playlist now when you're playing. It just feels good. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, it feels more like Trials, of course. So, we're having a good time in it. And we played all day Saturday. And I will say 75% of Saturday we played Crucible. We did some light leveling stuff, but you get so much power from playing in the competitive playlist because you're ranking up your Valor, and then you're ranking up your Glory, of course, and then you're getting two drops.
Yeah. I've had
and I went
a lot of buddies go into comp and
mm-hmm.
just power up like crazy because I think with the changes made to Glory this season, like I'm not going to say, oh, it's so easy, but I think getting to
it's easier.
Fabled it's a different journey.
Mm-hmm. One,
because I think the game is doing some different things to, because it says, like, if you remember, like it said, it has a system that it thinks that you're ranked at, and it's going to get you to that rank quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, you know, average or good players is going to be able to get to Fabled quickly. And part of that is some great drops along the way that you can get as part of that system.
Yeah. For sure. And they were even telling me, they're like, I was not, like I said, 906. And they're like, I'm telling you, like, let's just jump in the competitive, because a couple of the guys there, they were already at like 4,000, 3,500 to 4,000. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and again, I said earlier, easier. I think the right word maybe is just, it's more friendly, if you will. Like as you get higher tiered, obviously it gets, you know, more sweaty. But sure enough, you know, we jumped in. I started at 0, and we played probably from, I don't know, 10 o'clock until 5 o'clock. And then we played into the night some after dinner. And I ended at 3950. And I played a couple games of freelance, but we played mostly in the team playlist.
So what does that put you at in Glory?
Mythic 2.
Okay.
Mythic 2. Yep. Cool. And I actually played a little freelance since then, and not fully warmed up, and kind of dropped back a little bit down to 38. But it's fun, man. Like again, I think the 3v3 plays a lot into it. The freelance is nice. It's excellent actually to be able to do that. You know, when you don't have a team on, and man, and I knew I was going to do it at some point, but this weekend's kind of structured my season as Crucible season, because I still don't have Redrix's broadsword. I don't have 5 resets in a season. Obviously, that goes with that. And then I don't have Mountaintop. And I got Colony. I got Colony out this weekend. I totally did. And I'll tell you what, in the competitive playlist, I had 39% on the kills with the grenade launcher, and that's it. That's the only progress I had on Mountaintop. And I am now at, just playing this weekend as much competitive as we played, I'm at 100% on kills. I'm at 100% on multi-kill medals, or, you know, get 3 kills in 1 life.
Nice.
And then I'm at, I think, 35% on double kills. Double kills is the hardest.
Yeah.
It's hard. You think you want to go to quick play and do it, even though you're going to progress slower, but you don't get as much ammo. So it's even harder.
I'll tell you, just a thought while I'm thinking about that. Iron Banner, you get increased progress.
That's right.
And there's going to be a lot of heavy in Iron Banner.
Yeah, do we have did they say, maybe we even mentioned it already, they have a Valor increase?
Yes.
With Iron Banner?
Yeah. As well, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So I think next week I played a little bit, but I'm like, I think I'm going to wait, and I can't wait to get Mountaintop, dude, because I know it's PvE beast still, but it's, I loved the Flash and Thunder, and it's a little different. You know, there's no, you know, it's a direct shot, but every kill that I would get with the Flash and Thunder, most of them was a direct impact. So I cannot wait to use the Mountaintop in the Crucible. But I got to strategize with these double kills, but I'm going for it. I'm going for finishing off my Redrix so I can get that badge done, because it's the only thing holding me back from that badge. And yeah, man, I mean, we played a ton. I think I ended up, I went from 906, played a little some PvE. There was more than a little, and then played that much Crucible competitive. And I think I was sitting at 927, 28 in the 1 day of play, just from playing that much Crucible. So it was a nice power increase. But it was good times, man. I got Monte Carlo to drop, and then I got Suros Catalyst and the Cerberus Catalyst.
Nice, yeah.
To drop.
I haven't heard that one dropping a lot, but it seems like Cerberus and Ace of Spades.
I did get Ace of Spades as well.
Really heavily weighted for some reason to drop. Because I've gotten both of those. I got them both really quick. but Soros, that's a cool one. I don't have that one, I don't think.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to take it in the Crucible. I've ran into some Guardians melting with that thing.
I'm almost done with the Cerberus Catalyst.
Oh, nice.
I finished the Ace one. It's fun with it on. It's not like anything to write home about. Crucible.
It's more damage for the explosive, right?
Yeah. And it's great for some activities if like for instance Vex have a tendency to like pile up next to each other and just march towards you. So if you can get that crit shot in a group of Vex, like you'll have some big explosions and it's really cool. But for some enemies, the AI, they just don't group up close enough for it to do much different than what Firefly is already doing, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But it's cool. It's like a cool addition and change to make the gun just a little bit better, which I mean, Ace is so good to begin with, you know?
Right. Yeah.
If they made it too much better, they'd have a problem.
Watch out.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do? Give it like a range boost? Like, come on.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yep. And man, there's so much to unpack in this expansion. You know, I know you guys talked about it last week, but I can't wait to hit max power. And I've started, watching some stuff and trying to wrap my head around 2.0, like I kind of mentioned earlier in the show. What's a good drop? What's a bad drop? What this does for you, what this does for you. They're definitely starting. I mean, they said they were, and it's going to continue the RPG element, man, and the builds. And I can't wait over the next couple weeks to see. I think some have already come out, just people doing some different builds, and then the artifact adds the layer to it of just very specific things you can do for a specific scenario or activity that you and your fire team are going to go do. Right.
I've started to hear about some of the perks on like the last level artifact being really, really fun. Like there's a void grenade can weaken enemies. I hear that one's really strong. What are some of the other interesting ones that like they don't sound at face value all like they're necessarily anything crazy
good, but
in application they're actually pretty good. So
that one's one of the big ones. That one's so interesting about the void grenade, right?
Yeah. I wanted to get some of those unlocked and play around with them a little bit. I just haven't had the playtime this week, so I'm looking forward to seeing what those are like.
That reminds me, I wanted to ask you, what level are you on your season pass?
Let me see. I want to say
because they don't
41 right now.
Say it again.
41.
41, okay. Because they don't, the XP progression between levels on that is the same, correct?
Yeah.
It's not like the artifact where it increases.
And it actually gets faster because you get some XP
the passive
percentage
stuff.
Gains, which pro tip I learned about this week. There was a guy that did a really detailed write-up on XP for this season. And there's a couple of wonky things with some of the bonuses that you get as part of the pass. So there's a couple different ones. There's the percentage bonus we're talking about that increases as you progress through the pass, and you get that only when you're in a destination. And what's important is that the tower doesn't count as a destination for that bonus. So don't turn in bounties in the tower.
Okay.
Also, there is a bonus that you get from being in a fire team with someone. So you want to make sure that when you turn in bounties, if you can, that you're in a fire team and you're on a destination that is not the tower to get maximum gains. And for the season pass, that may not be the most important thing, but if you're trying to progress your artifact, it can be, because that gets increasingly more expensive.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
almost at 25, I think. And it's interesting. Like sometimes you feel like it cruises and sometimes you feel like it's not, but it's all the same.
And different bounties and activities give you different amounts of XP. So something to keep in mind when you're working on that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cool though, man. I'm enjoying some Shadowkeep. There's plenty more with the expansion we could talk about, but we'll do it over the season. It's a lot of cool stuff.
There's a lot to do, and there was so much to cover. Like, I came out of the last episode feeling like, man, I just don't think I talked about how much fun I'm having enough, because there was just so much to talk about. But I've had a ton of fun in all the different activities we played. Like, sometimes in Destiny, even the progression stuff feels like a chore sometimes. But just something about the new activities and the way they've structured things, I've enjoyed all the things I've played, and didn't have to feel like anything was too much of a chore.
A chore. Yeah. I did get to that point today where I was like, okay, I'm down to strikes and gambit. You know, and it's like it's still fun to play, but you know, I see what you're talking about.
Because the bounties go into the milestone or whatever, and then the doing the bounties give you the progression on the pass. Like, I feel like I accomplish a lot, so I don't mind doing those
at once.
Because last season, if you'd asked me about doing strikes, like, that was the last milestone I wanted to do every week, because it was just like, just run 3 strikes. There wasn't much point in doing the bounties. There wasn't much point in doing anything else alongside of it. So it was
just
like,
a lot working together now.
Yeah. So because I feel like I'm accomplishing so much for those, they're more fun, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I'm so dialed in on Crucible. I've been playing a lot of PvE the last few seasons, being the Crucible guy. And this season, I'm with comp the way it is. I already mentioned, like, I'm going to get my Redrix, hopefully do the 5 resets. I want to get Mountaintop, and I'm actually, I'm starting to use my Luna more because I don't have all the kills I need to get my Not Forgotten. But I'm like, Legend is in reach this season, right? And I think I'm really gonna shoot for Legend and try to finish a lot of this Crucible stuff off. That's it's just kind of been lingering around. Yeah,
I'm gonna
we'll see.
I think I'm gonna jump into comp a little bit next couple weeks and see if I can at least grab Fabled ish to get that weapon. And I want to do Mountaintop as well, because I still haven't done Mountaintop. So
yeah, especially with you being a big raider PvE dude. I mean, it's still a beast.
It's a handy tool to have. So I'd like to grab it. I was trying
to think, once I get it, what secondary I'm going to run with it. We were talking about, or what energy. I mean, I guess you could run Recluse, or
Recluse is a popular one.
It's just a cleanup, right? If you don't get that impact kill immediately, you just got to do a little cleanup.
Yeah, Recluse is still a top tier weapon in any activity. Like, it's kind of absurd just how good it still is.
Yeah, I still have mine too. I got one with major spec and one with counterbalance, one for PvP and one for PvE.
yeah it's fun, man. Bring that sucker out and rumble and people get mad. Get mad.
I haven't played any rumble this season yet. I need to do that.
I played a little rumble the first week and it was fun. I love rumble.
I do too. Yeah, Rumble is a good way to get yourself warmed up. You know, a lot of times you'll go with your fire team into quick play or something just to kind of get your shot warmed up. But Rumble will get you mentally, everything. It'll get you warmed up.
Put your head on the swivel, you know, to where you're just ready for all comers.
Yep,
there's something about it.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. We got so much to talk about throughout the season. I got a feeling, like you said, we're going to be in for maybe a couple surprises. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun season, and they brought a lot of fun things for us to do. And you know, I'm excited that a lot of people are having fun in both modes of the game. You know, even the PvP stuff. Like,
oh yeah, I've seen so much positive feedback.
Yeah, everybody's having a good time, like enjoying the changes to how Glory are working. The modes seem to be popular, you know.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
I agree. I was going to ask you too, man, before we move on. I couldn't remember. Didn't you say a while back you were playing a game on Switch? I can't remember even. It was like dungeons, kind of some dungeons and then like some mini games in it, or am I making something up? Were you playing a game on Switch like in the last few months? No. Here's the reason I ask. A game in my wish list. I was looking for something to play on my Switch, and I've like really been thinking about getting Link's Awakening, and I'm just kind of waiting for it to go on sale a little bit. Even though it's worth $60, it's it's just like kind of wait for it to go on sale for 40.
Right.
And I saw on my wish list there's this game called Moonlighter.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't played it.
I put it in my wish list for a reason, because then I kind of looked it up again and stuff, and I bought it, and it's like this interesting story where you dungeon crawl, but then you like have a shop. I'm literally just started it today.
Yeah.
But you like sell stuff, and then you go back to the dungeon and get some more stuff, and it's like roguelike, where if you die, you drop most of your loot.
You dungeon crawl, and then you sell the stuff at night in the community, shop, right? Or during the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's neat. I watched a review on it today. I just wanted to see it a little bit more. It's $25, and I ended up picking it up today. And then I thought to myself, wait a second. Because I forgot it was on my wish list. I was like, maybe this is a game Cyborg was talking about a while back that he was playing, but it doesn't sound like it was.
No. Well, there was a game a while back that I was playing that had come out on Xbox, Games with Gold or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's right. I think
Digger or Gravekeeper or something. That's kind of similar type of game. That I like started and I never picked it back up because it was like too broad for me.
Yeah.
The problem I heard about with Moonlighter, and the reason I never picked it up, because it seemed like a game I would enjoy, is I read that once you get to a certain point, like there's no depth in the game, and you're basically just on like a loot treadmill.
Yeah.
Like you're just selling stuff so you can go do a harder dungeon that's random, so you can sell stuff.
All right to me.
Which is like some people are into that grind.
Yeah. No, I get it though. Apparently there's only like 5 dungeons in the game, but of course I think they're random every time you go into them. But then when I loaded it in today, I wondered immediately, once you beat it, is there a new game plus? We're so groomed to that these days. And sure enough, there is. Like when you start a file, I don't know if this is with the launch of the game, but it does have some sort of new game plus too. So
that's cool.
I don't know. I just started it today.
They may have worked on it and changed, like improved stuff since I heard about it.
If nothing else, it seems like a good playthrough at least once.
No, I will mention 2 things that I did, because I brought my Switch with me on my trip so I could have something to do in case I had downtime, and also because I was super excited that a game that you might have mentioned from remember me mentioning from Guardian Con that we played, that was an arcade game called Killer Queen, and we were super obsessed with. Well, the console and PC game version of that came out just what day was it? Friday. I saw it this past Friday.
I was looking at the store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Killer Queen Black. It's kind of a more evolved version of the game. Like they added some cool mechanics and things, but kind of kept the arcade ness of it. They scaled it down from like 5v5 to 4v4. But they have it on Switch and then also on PC. I don't know if they have it for Xbox or PS4. I didn't really check, but I pre-bought it on Switch and we played it at Blue's Place that day that it came out and had a lot of fun. And the only problem that we experienced, though, was some really strange lag for such a low profile game. But I don't know if that's just because of Switch's infrastructure or if it's something with the game. But anyways, that I was playing and I was really excited that came out. Y'all should have played that at the meetup, man. I should have told you to play that.
Yeah, that would have been cool. We played some Switch stuff, just kind of like some party games. But yeah, no, it sounds like a fun game on Switch. I'm always looking for stuff for the Switch, and that's why Moonlighter just kind of seems like it's gonna hit the spot.
And then I've been playing a little bit here and there. Some original the SNES stuff came out for the Switch online, and I've been playing Zelda Link to the Past, I think, right?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
going through a playthrough on that because that's my all-time favorite Zelda game. So I was
it's like
incredibly
we
excited
have
about that.
the online membership right now too. It's like we just had it for a couple months. We never really did before, but it's like $3.99 a month or something, or like for 3 months. I can't remember. It's
I think it's like $20 for a year for regular, and then it's like maybe 25 or 35 for a family membership, so that multiple profiles can access it, which I started off with the $20 one and then realized I needed to upgrade, so I swapped to the family one, which you have to do through support chat, by the way. There's no way in their store to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyways.
Cool. Some Switch time.
Yeah, Switch stuff.
Switch is nice, man, because you can play Destiny, and then when you're like, it's time to log off, then when you crawl into bed, you can play a little Switch.
I'm saying, man, it's just a matter of time till somehow we're playing Destiny on the Switch.
Right? It is really,
happen,
you're right.
Dude.
It's just a matter of time.
Like, there's all these rumors about Xbox doing something on the Switch, and they've got like an Xbox app on there. Like, I don't know, man. I think that there's a possibility that when we see xCloud, like, you could see it on the Switch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's a possibility. We'll see. Anyways, so yeah, that was our resets. And now it's time for other parts of the show.
It is.
I played fast and loose last week with the show. Hope you can forgive me. There was so much to talk about. I was like, we're going to skip this segment, and then we're going to skip this segment.
That's what happens on the fall releases, man.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff.
Kinda
and
just
leading
have
up
to
to
roll with
even
stuff.
these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've got some Derp Fam discourse for you guys. We got a cool question that I would love to hear the answer to myself this week. That I can't answer, but I want to put out
same.
there.
Yeah, hopefully some Derp Fam can help you. They'll have to tweet at us. It's from Big Daddy Plaid. It says, "Hey Derp Fam." I think this one was hardware question, maybe. I have a question for all of you, and I bet I am not the only one wondering about this. Do you guys know of any Xbox One compatible controllers that are quiet? I'm married with kids, and I'm a university professor by day. As a result, the only time I have to play Destiny is at night when everyone has gone to bed. I actually talked my wife into getting an Xbox for our room, but the controller buttons and sticks constantly wake her up because they are so loud. I've put orthodontic elastics around the sticks, which work okay, but limit character, motion, and snap pretty quick. My awesome wife came home with earplugs and is cool with them, but it makes me feel like a total, "Sure, hun, go ahead and dull your senses so I can play me some video games." There has got to be a better way. As usual, awesome job, guys. Love the show. Best, Big Daddy Plaid. Man, I can relate to this completely. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it on the show that I have 2 PlayStations now, and one of them set up in our bedroom. And I don't think the PS4 controllers click too bad, but
They're less clicky.
I have woken my wife up before. I mean, it has happened. So
Xbox
this is
controllers
impressive.
are real clicky because the side of the stick hits the side of like the concavity that's around it. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but yes, and I would love to know this too, because I hate how loud my sticks are, and I've never really thought about other controllers that are compatible with Xbox. Like I've never even considered that, besides like, I know there's Scuffs, right? And Battle Beavers, is that another one? These are like custom made controllers, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how loud those are. I've had people mention to me before putting rubber bands around your sticks. I'm wondering if like there's a better rubber band that might not cause problems with motion. I did when I read this, I looked at like a standard Xbox controller versus my Elite, and I do notice like the range of motion on the sticks on the Elite is wider. And so I'm wondering, if you're listening, Big Daddy Plaid, like if you don't have an Elite, you could look at borrowing one or trying one out and putting some rubber bands on that and see if that helps. Because you can also like go into the controller app and control like the axis of motion for the sticks. So like if you were limited by the rubber bands, you could change like the entire sensitivity of the individual stick so that you still got the same range of motion, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
Thinking out loud here. What,
yeah. I don't know the
tips
answer either. Tweet at Destiny Reset and help Big Daddy plat out. I will say, you know, when you think about throwing rubber bands on your sticks and stuff, I relate everything to how fine-tuned I've gotten with my setup for PvP. And it amazes me, just like with anything else, how particular you could get. Like, I know I can't do that because it will mess up the feel of my controller, even if it is the most subtle change ever. Like, nothing can change in my Crucible setup.
But if I can make my sticks quiet,
yeah,
I would learn to adjust. Personally.
I don't know, man. Well, it's like, it's even like TV setup. It's such a simple thing, but when I made the move from a big screen, if you will, TV to a monitor, 22 to 27 inch monitor, one millisecond, it's so interesting, and you get used to your own scenario. But there is a huge difference in playing Crucible on a big TV versus like a monitor. 2 feet away from your face.
For sure.
So I just think about all these little things like this. This is totally off topic, but I wonder if I tried that, if it would mess my PvP game up. But you're right. You can adjust to anything.
Yeah.
It can be done. So anyways, I went off on a tangent there. If you guys can help Big Daddy plat out, like I said, tweet at us at Destiny Reset, and maybe you've already found a solution for this that we can all benefit from.
I hope so.
There you go. Thanks for the email.
Yeah, if you've got some discourse, you can send it our way, destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com, or a speakpipe, speakpipe.com/destinyreset. We're still looking to hear your feedback from Shadowkeep and what you love and what you hate and everything in between. So send it our way so we can talk about it on the show.
Yes.
Next up, we've got some patron shout-outs. Do we have any new patrons this week?
We do. Shout out to Young Animus, and we have one more that's pending.
Okay.
Be on the way soon, I think.
Check your messages.
Thank you so much.
On Patreon. If you don't know what a patron is, go to patreon.com/destinyreset. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support the production budget of our show. And to give you a little incentive there, you'll get a couple things. You get a shout out here on the show. You get your gamer tag posted on our website, and an invitation to our Discord channel just for Dirt Fan patrons and supporters.
There you have it.
Thank you again to everybody who week after week continues to give to the show.
Mm-hmm. And I was gonna mention last week, but I wasn't on the show. We say welcome to any and all new members, new Destiny players. There's still a lot of Guardians joining the Dirt Fam Discord in the last couple weeks. So welcome to all of you. We're glad to have you. So
yeah, it's awesome.
Cool stuff. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at AER0KNIGHT with a 0. What about you, man?
You can find me, CyborgSasquatch, on Twitter. Finally, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter. Also on the web, www.destinyresetpodcast.com. That's your source for all things DRP, including links to subscribe on your favorite podcast app of choice. Don't forget, we are on Spotify. We're on Podbean now. You can also find us right now on Dash Radio, if you ever hang out over there. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, be sure to leave us a review. I know we've got at least one new review this week, right?
Yeah. We had one new written review, but we got a 5 out of 5, so we appreciate that. We're like pushing 330 at this point. So
nice.
Really appreciate you guys taking the time, leaving reviews for us.
Yeah. Be sure to do that if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. It helps us get seen and heard by more listeners just like you.
It does. Well, Cyborg.
All right, bud. I'll see you on the moon.
Yeah. Glad to catch up with you on Shadowkeep other than via text.
For sure.
Been a good time. Until next reset, have fun playing Destiny 2, and take care, Guardians.